Hey everyone, welcome back to the Talking Room. I'm Alex.
And I'm Maya. Good to be here with you all again.
How are you feeling today, Maya? You seem a bit more relaxed than last week.
Yeah, I am actually. I've been trying something small in the mornings. Just 5 minutes of sitting with my coffee before checking my phone. It's nothing huge, but it changes how the rest of my day feels.
That's funny you mention that. I've been thinking a lot about those tiny changes lately, like the stuff we barely notice, but somehow it shifts things.
Right? It's weird because we always look for the big moments, the dramatic transformations. But maybe the real change happens in these small pockets.
Exactly. So today, let's talk about that. The hidden power of daily micro-transformations. Those little things that feel like nothing, but actually reshape everything.
I like that. Let's get into it.
Okay, so can we just start with the obvious? Most of us want to change something about our lives, right? We want to be healthier, smarter, more organized, whatever it is.
Absolutely. I think everyone has that list in their head, the I wish I was better at this list.
But here's the thing, we usually imagine change as this big, dramatic event. Like one day you wake up and suddenly you're a completely different person.
Yeah, the whole new year, new me thing. Or like starting Monday, everything changes.
Exactly. And Monday comes and nothing really sticks. Have you noticed how frustrating that is? You get all pumped up, you make these huge plans, and then a week later, you're back where you started.
I've experienced that too many times. I think the worst part is feeling like you failed. Like if you can't do the big thing, you must not have enough willpower or something.
Right, and then you feel worse than before you even tried. It becomes this cycle. Big plans, big excitement, big crash, big guilt.
So why do we keep doing it? Why do we always reach for these massive transformations instead of just, starting smaller?
That's the question. I think it's because small feels insignificant. If you're only doing 5 minutes of something or changing one tiny habit, it doesn't feel like enough.
It feels like you're not really trying, like you should be doing more, pushing harder.
Exactly. We've been trained to think that real change requires big effort, big sacrifice, big drama. Small actions feel like they won't matter.
But that's the trap, isn't it? Because those big actions are usually unsustainable. They burn us out.
Completely. And then we're left with nothing. Whereas if we just started with something tiny, we might actually still be doing it.
I didn't think about it that way. So the big approach actually leaves us worse off than the small one.
Most of the time, yeah. At least in my experience.
Okay, so let's dig into why this happens. Why are we so obsessed with instant, dramatic results?
I think it's partly how our brains work. We want that hit of accomplishment, that feeling of, yes, I did something big today.
The dopamine rush.
Exactly. Small actions don't give us that same rush. Like if you read for 10 minutes, you don't feel like you achieved much. But if you say, I'm going to read for 2 hours every day, that sounds impressive.
Even if you never actually do it.
Right. We'd rather have the idea of doing something big than the reality of doing something small.
That's so true. It's like we're more attracted to the story we can tell ourselves than the actual change.
And then there's comparison. We see someone else's transformation, their before and after photos, their success story, and we want that.
We want the end result without the middle part.
Exactly. We don't see the hundreds of tiny decisions they made every single day. We just see the dramatic difference.
So we try to copy the result instead of the process.
And the process is always small, boring, repetitive actions. Nobody wants to hear that.
Because it's not sexy. It's not exciting. There's no viral post about, I drank 1 extra glass of water today.
But that one glass, repeated for a year, might actually change your energy levels, your skin, your focus. It compounds.
So the problem is we're impatient. We want change now, but real change is slow.
Yeah, and there's also this weird thing where small actions feel useless at first. Like you do them and nothing seems different, so your brain says, why bother?
I've felt that. You try something small for a few days and think, this isn't working, I'm wasting my time.
Right, but you're not. It's just that the effects are invisible at first. They're building under the surface.
Like planting a seed and expecting to see a tree the next day.
Perfect analogy. We're so bad at trusting the invisible part of growth. So let's talk about what micro-transformations actually are, because I think people hear small habits and they tune out.
Yeah, it sounds boring or too simple, like, oh great, another person telling me to make my bed.
Right, but it's not about making your bed because some productivity guru said so. It's about understanding that your life is made up of thousands of tiny actions every day.
And those actions are either moving you toward the person you want to be or away from them.
Exactly. A micro-transformation is just a tiny action or mindset shift that you repeat consistently, and over time, it fundamentally changes who you are.
Can you give me an example? Something concrete.
Sure. Let's say you want to be healthier. Instead of saying, I'm going to work out an hour every day, which is hard to maintain, you say, I'm going to do 10 push-ups every morning.
Just 10?
Just 10. It takes like 1 minute. You can't fail at it because it's so small. But if you do it every single day, something shifts.
Your body gets stronger, obviously.
Yeah, but also your identity shifts. You start seeing yourself as someone who exercises. That's huge.
Oh, I see. It's not just about the physical result. It's about who you're becoming through that action.
Exactly. And once that identity shifts, you naturally start doing more. Maybe after a month you add 10 squats, then a short walk. It builds naturally.
Because you're not forcing it. You've already become the kind of person who does that.
Right. You've transformed your self-image through tiny repeated actions. That's the hidden power.
So it works for other areas too, not just health?
Absolutely. Let's say you want to be smarter or more knowledgeable. Instead of saying, I'm going to read 50 books this year, which feels overwhelming, you say, I'm going to read 5 pages every night.
5 pages is nothing. You could do that in 5 minutes.
Exactly. But 5 pages a day is about 2 books a month. That's 24 books a year.
Wait, really? That sounds like a lot when you put it that way.
That's the magic of compounding. Small actions multiplied by time create massive results.
But most people won't believe that 5 pages matters, so they never start.
Or they start with, I'm reading 2 hours a day, burn out after 3 days, and quit entirely.
And then they read 0 books instead of 24.
Exactly. This small approach actually wins in the long run.
What about money? Can this work for finances too?
Definitely. This is huge for money. People think they need to make massive changes, cut out everything fun, save half their income, and it's just not realistic.
Yeah, that approach makes you miserable and then you rebel against it.
Right, but what if you just save $5 a day, or even $2? It feels like nothing.
But over a year, $2 a day is, let me think, over $700.
Exactly, and you probably wouldn't even notice that $2 missing. Skip one coffee, one snack, whatever.
So you've saved $700 without feeling deprived.
And here's the thing, once you've done that for a few months, you start thinking differently about money. You notice other small ways to save or earn more.
Because your mindset has shifted. You're becoming someone who values financial stability.
Exactly. It's the same identity shift we talked about before. The action is tiny, but the transformation is deep.
This is starting to make so much sense. What about mindset stuff, like mental health or emotional patterns?
That's where I think it's most powerful, actually, because we can't just flip a switch and be happy or confident, but we can do tiny things that shift our mental patterns.
Like what?
Like, if you struggle with negative thinking, you can't just decide to think positive and have it work. That's too big, too vague.
Right. Your brain just goes back to its default patterns.
But what if every time you notice a negative thought, you just add one neutral or realistic thought afterward? Not even positive, just realistic.
So instead of fighting the negativity, you're just adding a different perspective.
Exactly. It's tiny. It takes 5 seconds. But if you do it consistently, you're literally rewiring your brain.
That sounds small, but it's actually really powerful.
It is, and it's doable. You're not asking yourself to become a different person overnight. You're just adding one small thing.
I like that. It feels possible.
So how do we actually apply this? Like, if someone's listening right now and thinking, okay, I want to try this, where do they start?
Yeah, because even with small changes, you could still overwhelm yourself by trying to change everything at once.
Great point. I think the first step is to pick one area, just one, not your health and your money and your relationships all at the same time.
One thing, like I want to feel more energized or I want to learn something new.
Exactly. And then ask yourself, what's the smallest possible action I could take every day that would move me in that direction?
And when you say smallest, you mean really small, not just kind of small.
Right. If it feels challenging, it's too big. It should feel almost ridiculously easy.
Because the goal is consistency, not intensity.
Exactly. You want something you can do even on your worst day, even when you're tired, stressed, or busy.
That makes sense. If it only works when you're motivated, it won't last.
Right. Motivation is unreliable. Discipline is what matters. And discipline comes from repetition, not from willpower.
So you're building the habit of showing up, even if it's just for 1 minute.
Exactly. And once that's automatic, once you don't even think about it, you can add more, but not before.
How long does that take? Like, when do you know it's automatic?
It depends on the person and the habit, but I'd say at least a month, maybe 2. You want it to feel weirder to skip it than to do it.
Okay, so pick one area, make the action ridiculously small, and do it for at least a month before changing anything.
Exactly. And here's another thing. Don't judge the results too early.
What do you mean?
I mean, after a week, you might not see any difference. After 2 weeks, still nothing obvious. Your brain will tell you it's not working.
But it is working, it's just invisible.
Right, you have to trust the process. The compound effect takes time to become visible.
So you need patience.
Yeah, and maybe a way to track it just so you can see that you're being consistent. Not to measure results, but to measure the action itself.
Like just checking off that you did your 10 push-ups or read your 5 pages?
Exactly. That little check mark gives you a tiny bit of satisfaction and reinforces the behavior.
What about when you mess up, like you miss a day or a week? Do you just give up?
No, and that's so important. Missing a day doesn't erase all your progress. It's just one day.
But people treat it like they failed and then they quit entirely.
I know. We have this all or nothing mentality, like, I missed one day, so the whole thing is ruined.
Which is ridiculous when you say it out loud.
Totally. If you miss one day out of 30, you still did it 29 times. That's amazing.
So you just start again the next day?
Exactly. No guilt, no drama, just, okay, today I'm doing it again.
That feels so much more sustainable than the guilt spiral.
It is, and honestly, the ability to start again without judgment is a skill in itself. That's a micro-transformation right there.
Building self-compassion through tiny acts of forgiveness.
Exactly. Every time you mess up and restart without beating yourself up, you're changing your relationship with yourself.
I didn't think about it that way. That's actually huge.
Let's talk about some specific examples people could try, just to make this really concrete.
Good idea. So for someone who wants more energy throughout the day, what would you suggest?
Drink 1 glass of water first thing in the morning, before coffee, before anything else, just 1 glass.
That's it?
That's it. Most people are dehydrated when they wake up. 1 glass of water can actually change how you feel for the next few hours.
And it takes like 30 seconds.
Exactly. What about for someone who wants to be more creative or think better?
Maybe write 3 sentences every morning, like a journal or just thoughts.
I love that. Not a whole page, just 3 sentences. Gets your brain working, clears out some mental clutter.
What about for relationships, like feeling more connected to people?
Send 1 message a day to someone you care about. Not a long conversation, just a thinking of you or hope you're well.
That's so simple, but people don't do it.
Because it feels too small to matter. But imagine getting one of those messages. It actually means something.
And over time, you're building deeper connections without even trying that hard.
Exactly. What about for learning something new?
Practice for 5 minutes, like if you want to learn guitar, just 5 minutes a day.
Perfect, because 5 minutes won't make you a master, but it will make you someone who plays guitar. The identity shift happens fast.
And 5 minutes often turns into 10 or 15 once you've started.
Yeah, starting is the hard part. Once you're doing it, you usually want to keep going.
So the tiny action is really just about lowering the barrier to starting.
Exactly. It removes the resistance.
I want to go back to something you said earlier about discipline over motivation. Can you explain that more?
Sure. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes. You feel motivated one day, not the next. You can't control it.
Right, it's unreliable.
Exactly. Discipline, on the other hand, is just doing the thing whether you feel like it or not.
So it's more about the system than the emotion.
Right. You build a system where the action happens automatically, regardless of how you feel.
And that's where the small actions help, because you can do them even when you're not motivated.
Exactly. If your goal is to run 5 miles, you need a lot of motivation. But if your goal is to put on your running shoes, you can do that even on a terrible day.
And once the shoes are on, you might as well walk around the block.
Right, the tiny action breaks the inertia. That's the real power.
So we're not trying to become more motivated people, we're trying to become more consistent people.
Exactly, and consistency is just the result of tiny, repeated actions. It's not some special personality trait.
Anyone can be consistent if the action is small enough.
Right. We've made consistency seem like this hard thing, but it's actually simple. It's just been scaled wrong. I think there's also something important about the long-term view here. Like we're so focused on this week, this month, that we forget about the next year or 5 years.
Yeah, we underestimate what we can do in a year and overestimate what we can do in a week.
Exactly. A week of small actions feels like nothing, but a year of them, that's transformative.
And the beautiful part is, a year passes anyway, whether you do the small things or not.
Right, so you might as well. In a year, you'll either be someone who did the thing every day or someone who kept waiting for the perfect time to start.
That's a perspective shift right there.
It is, and I think that's part of the hidden power. These micro transformations change how you see time.
How so?
Well, you start to see time as something that works for you, not against you. Every day is an opportunity to build, not a deadline you're missing.
So it reduces anxiety too.
Absolutely, because you're not in a race anymore. You're just showing up.
And showing up is enough.
Exactly. That's the mindset shift. Showing up, even in the smallest way, is enough. It compounds, it builds, it transforms.
Do you think people will actually believe this? Like, will they try it or will they still chase the big dramatic changes?
Honestly, most people will probably still chase the big stuff because it's more exciting. It feels more important.
But some people will try it.
Yeah, and those people will quietly transform their lives while everyone else is still stuck in the cycle of big plans and big crashes.
That's kind of poetic.
It is. And the thing is, once you experience it, once you see how powerful these tiny changes are, you can't go back.
You become a different person.
Exactly. Not overnight, but gradually. So gradually that you don't even notice until one day you look back and realize everything is different.
And you did it without suffering, without forcing, without burning out.
Right. You just showed up, day after day, in the smallest possible way.
That's actually really beautiful.
It is, and it's available to everyone. You don't need money, you don't need time, you don't need perfect circumstances. You just need to start tiny.
And keep going.
And keep going.
So if someone's listening right now and they want to try this, what's the one thing they should do today?
Pick one area of their life they want to shift, just one.
And then?
Think of the smallest possible action they could take in that area, something so small it feels almost silly.
And then do it today.
Exactly. Not tomorrow, not Monday, today, right now if possible.
Because starting is the transformation.
Exactly. The moment you do that tiny thing, you've already become someone different, someone who takes action.
I love that.
And then tomorrow, do it again, and the next day. Don't think about next week or next month, just today.
One day at a time.
One tiny action at a time. I think that's a good place to wrap up. This conversation has been really grounding for me.
Same. It's a good reminder that we don't have to have it all figured out or make massive changes to move forward.
Exactly. Just small, quiet, consistent steps. That's where the real power is.
Thanks for being here, Alex, and thanks to everyone listening.
Yeah, thanks for spending this time with us. We'll be back next week with another conversation.
Until then, maybe just pick one tiny thing. See what happens.
See you all soon.
Take care.